as a rough guide, how many quotes should I aim to memorize per text? Okay, well, make sure you're memorizing more than just the quotes. You want to make sure you're memorizing the techniques that go with it, the key concepts that you want to talk about in each paragraph. And I basically memorize the whole thing, to be frank. And I memorize the whole thing with an understanding that I'm going to change a lot of it because I'm going to practice changing it to different types of questions, but I want to know all of my core content. So make sure you're not just memorizing quotes, because what about the analysis of the quote? What about the technique that you're labeling the quote with? What about the link to context? Don't you want to already have all those elements set up so that you're not spending all of your time during the exam thinking of all of the word in there? Help yourself out on the day of the exam by already having done the prep and learnt all of this material really well. But to answer your question, how many quotes should I aim to memorize per text? You want to have 12 quotes as a general rule, 12 quotes in an essay. And if you're doing 3 body paragraphs, introduction, 3 body paragraphs and a conclusion, that means you would have 4 quotes per paragraph, okay? If you have 4 body paragraphs, you would have 3 quotes in each one. Now that's just a general rule. Something to be aware of, and a lot of students neglect this, is it's one thing to have a quote that you have a technique for, but it's another thing to integrate short quotes generally throughout your analysis, in addition to those 12. So you can have 12 quotes that actually have a technique associated, but the second way to use quotes is to actually incorporate other aspects of the text that don't necessarily have a technique, but that supplement what you want to say in the point that you're making in relation to that other quote. So if you have a sentence and it features 2 quotes, one quote might be the quote that you're using to prove how a technique has been used by the composer to prove a particular point, and the other quote will be related to the point you're actually making. So you're making a point and then you integrate a word or 2 also from the text to actually articulate the point you're making. So you're using the quote in an embedded way, right? You're embedding the quotes into your own analysis to show a deeper textual engagement. The best students will do that. The best students won't just have one distinct quote in a sentence that has a technique and then they say their effect. They'll also occasionally use other little quotes, mini quotes if you like, 1 word, 2 words, that effectively replace the words that they would have otherwise said themselves in different terms to explain the point that they were making, okay? So don't forget that in addition to the 12 quotes that will be the technique quotes that you're analyzing, it's also good to embed other mini quotes throughout. You don't need to do it every sentence to help supplement the analysis, right? To actually supplement what you're saying about that evidence that you've already used there, okay? So there's 2 ways to use quotes. You've got your 12 core quotes and then try and embed a few others throughout the essay to lift the sophistication.